Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and in this video, I wanted to do my review for the recent Loki episode on Disney Plus. His show, which is in its first season, it has been renewed for a second season. This is the fifth episode. There are six in total, just like the Captain America and Winter Soldier series, which obviously also had 6 episodes for its first season. This was called this was the fifth episode, called Journey into Mystery. And basically what we saw was the continuance of obviously what happened last week after Loki and Mobius were vaporized at the TVA. Unfortunately, they found out obviously that the time agents obviously are fake, and somebody else created them, and they were like android robots, and they were obviously not real. So somebody who is obviously controlling them. We don't know who. Obviously, we're gonna wait and see. We saw at the end of this episode, which is episode 5, that Loki and Sylvie, who is obviously also known as Lady Loki, went into this another world, and it looks like some big huge castle, and apparently they're gonna find out who's like the kind of like the Wizard of Oz, who's the person behind the curtain, like the Matrix, who's not the Oracle, who's the architect, who created all of this, who's the one in charge, who created the timeline, who created the time, obviously the time agents and the time variant authority, obviously, the TVA. So that's what we're going to see. We also saw that were different variations and versions of Loki, which were like President Loki, where he had like a button. Well, I don't think the button said "Vote for me," but it said something along the lines of that. And he obviously had it was like a campaign version of himself, which actually I think you can see right here. Yeah, it says "Vote for Loki." Right, he had the pin right here on his jacket. That was like, and he had a suit on. It's like he's like kind of presidential version of him, where he's the ruler of the galaxy or the world, something like that, in space. There's obviously different versions of him, and obviously we also saw Kid Loki, Alligator Loki, Boastful Loki, and also Classic Loki, which he had his horns obviously on his head. It was an older version of him. This is all of them right here. Kid Loki, Boastful, Classic Loki is right here. That's his classic costume that he used to wear in the comic books, with his green suit and yellow cape and green spandex and yellow boots. This is Kid Loki and Boastful Loki. And there was the alligator somewhere in here, but these are the different variations of Loki, along with him also on his own show in Sylvie. So in total, with that one, there were 6 of them in one episode. So that's what we saw. We also found out that the void, which is basically like purgatory, where you're like in the middle, where you're like stuck out in time or in space itself, you're like stuck in another like dimension. Everybody who gets vaporized by the time variance authority, they get sent there so they can't cause any more trouble. But you're kind of still not dead, but you're in a time zone, a timeline where you can't make any trouble or cause any damage. So it's basically, like I said, purgatory. You're not in hell or heaven, you're stuck in the middle. That's what purgatory is, where people get obviously sent to if like their souls are damned, or some, obviously somewhere along the lines of, obviously they're dying, or they're either side doesn't want them, basically. And Mobius was there. We saw that obviously, and then Loki found out that everybody that was there, the different variations of all those Lokis, they were all sent there by the TVA, all of them, and all the ones that were there, including this one obviously as well, President Loki. So all of them were there, and basically we got to figure out obviously that everybody gets sent there, and this big huge monster kind of like in the cloud, something out of like Ghostbuster, or I would say maybe the Never-Ending Story, keeps everybody there from obviously leaving. And the monster in the sky, the cloud sky monster, is called Goliath, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they called him, and it's kind of like Galactus. He devours basically everybody that's around him. He just like sucks up all the life forms of people, buildings, anybody around him. That's what he can do. And obviously that he's the one who's like the guard dog of the TVA, keeping everybody that's sent there to stay in there. Classic Loki right there basically explained to obviously the version of Loki from obviously the 2000s, 10s, and obviously right now. He explained to him, this one, he explained to him, we're basically in a Shark Tank, and Goliath is the shark that's obviously in charge, or that we obviously can't get away from, and he's in charge of keeping everybody there, like the warden or the guard dog. Like I said, this big huge monster in the sky or the clouds who, like I said, just like Galactus, he was moving around devouring people. Classic Loki tried to make a false version of Asgard to trick him into eating the whole thing, so he can obviously stay strong, because obviously him eating people, buildings, or anything around there, even that he was went after a whole cruise ship of people. He does that, and he gets to, obviously, I guess it keeps him strong, I guess, because the people he kills and devours. He obviously died at the end of the episode. Classic Loki right here. He sacrificed himself to help Loki and Sylvie, who is obviously Lady Loki, escape and go to the castle and find out obviously who obviously is in charge of the TVA, and who obviously are the timekeepers, and basically, like I said, to find out who's behind the curtain, just like obviously the Wizard of Oz and whatnot. Obviously, the man behind the curtain. Kid Loki was nowhere to be seen at the end, so he basically moved on and left himself. This version of Loki is called Boastful Loki, because he likes to brag a lot and boast about his accomplishments. He basically got into a fight and brawl with the presidential version of Loki and his guys, because he double-crossed them. He's been with them for a while. They're all basically a team with the alligator Loki, but he double-crossed them all, and obviously he was left behind, so they all escaped after the fight happened with obviously Loki, and they met up with Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, and Sylvie. And everybody stayed except, they all stayed except obviously Loki and Sylvie. They left. Mobius went back to the TVA, but we don't know what's going to happen with that until the next episode, because he's obviously mad. He wants revenge, and he's obviously going to, like he said, burn the whole place down, obviously, because obviously what happened to him. B-15, who is the captain of the Time Variance Authority, their troop soldiers, or their foot soldiers, she's locked up in a cell there. She's being kept there obviously by the judge, obviously that woman who's in charge basically down there. She's trying to figure out obviously who's in charge of the timekeepers and keep them safe, but she doesn't want Loki, Mobius, or anybody to get to them first. But that's obviously not the case. That's not what happened. She obviously doesn't know who's obviously in charge herself. So it looks like Loki and Sylvie got to the castle of whoever there is in charge of the TVA, obviously, at the end of the episode, and we'll see what happens with that. And obviously Mobius trying to sneak back into the TVA, and I guess he's going to use some type of disguise or some type of tricks to move his way around there to get the truth, and obviously maybe even turn the tables on his former obviously co-worker who killed him and vaporized him, what they call pruning, and send her probably to the void, which is where obviously all those Lokis were located at, and anybody who gets vaporized or pruned by the TVA. She tried to get Sylvie to turn on Loki and obviously turn herself in as well. She said no. She actually stabbed herself and sent herself to the void, and she had the teleporting device that they used to get around through time, and she didn't use that, but she did end up giving it to Mobius at the end of the episode so he can go back to the TVA, because without that they obviously have no way of getting around from the TVA and traveling through time without that. It's like a teleportation device, basically, or like in Back to the Future terms, how they have the DeLorean. This is just like a time pad. You press on, and it's like a keypad or some similar to a cell phone, and they use that to get through timelines and travel, obviously, because they don't have powers, so they can't obviously do it without it, since they have no magical powers or special powers and abilities, because they're not metahumans or superheroes or whatnot. So that's basically what happened. We'll see what happens, but that last week's episode was great. This week's episode was even better. The show's been getting better and better. I think it's been pretty cool with each episode, obviously. Seeing as how obviously in episode 2 you didn't think Loki and Sylvie were going to actually team up, because she didn't want to have nothing to do with him. She didn't want to deal with him. She wanted to be associated with him. Even be called Loki herself. That's why she said her name's Sylvie. But she obviously did. She changed her mind because they both have a common enemy, which is the TVA, and obviously them wanting to move around any timeline they want to freely as they please, even if they're not doing anything to people, because she obviously wasn't. She was hiding out in different timelines to avoid them messing with her and obviously capturing her again and obviously killing her. Loki just obviously was not doing that. He was doing the opposite. He was moving around and obviously controlling. He wasn't moving around in different. He was moving around obviously in different timelines to control obviously people obviously and be like this big huge ruler obviously. But her case is different, so we'll see what happens with that. But that's like basically all I have to say about this. Last week's episode was great. I would say this last week's was an 8. I give this week's episode 8.5. It was really good. It was great. It was unexpected to see Mobius. I thought it was funny when he came out of nowhere in this big, huge storm in the void where they were at on this like desolated planet, or obviously where they're at, and he's driving this beat up like old like 60 or 70 1960s or 70s car with a pizza pizza obviously like a symbol of it on top of it. It was sticking out from the on top of it. It's like he was riding around a pizza delivery car, and Sylvie ran to the car. She didn't know it was him, but she obviously found out when she got in the car and saw his face. So I thought that was really funny, and that's basically what I saw. I don't know what's going on with boastful Loki or kid Loki, if we'll ever see them again. He basically didn't help him. He left him on his own, so I was actually surprised because I thought they were a team. So it was only them with the alligator Loki version, which the alligator can't do anything. But when classic Loki decided to sacrifice himself, kid Loki right here was nowhere to be seen. He was gone. So it looks like I guess they were a team after all, especially since he double crossed them. This boastful Loki double crossed both of them obviously, and then he got double crossed himself, so it was pretty funny. And they explained too, like, we're all low keys, like this is what we do, we double cross people and we lie and we obviously deceive people, you know, obviously is what they do with their trickery and obviously mischief. But it was funny, it was pretty entertaining. They have this little bunker / hideout where they're in. It's like a 1980s, like 1970s retro type of get up where they're at, where they've been hiding at for years on this planet, and that's basically it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. We'll see what happens. Like I said, next week's episode, which is episode 6, this season finale of this first season of Loki, and that'll basically be it. It's just getting way more entertaining and fun. Like I said, I wonder what's to see what other versions of Loki that they will obviously showcase in the future, and these guys will actually come back in some type of capacity, even though they're both technically, I think we'll say he's most likely alive based off of the fight he got into. We didn't see him, so we know he's still alive because he didn't help classic Loki. The kid ran, so I don't know where he went with his alligator, who's obviously supposed to be another version of Loki. So we'll see. It was pretty funny and entertaining. It was obviously interesting to see how he was able to manifest a whole entire city of Asgard, a fake projection of it, in order to trick Goliath, the big huge obviously that says sky cloud or monster in the sky that they were calling him, in order to think that he was obviously getting over on him. And it worked for a little bit, but obviously he was running out of power. He was tired, and then he obviously ended up dying at the end. So that's basically what happened. So that's all I have to say about this, and my response, my obviously review of Loki. And let me know what your responses are and your views of it if you haven't watched the show. And if you haven't seen this episode, let me know if you have, and if you have not, let me know why not. It was fun. It was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. It was very cool. And we'll see what happens, obviously, next week on Wednesday's episode, which will be Season 1, Episode 6, the season finale. And we'll see, obviously, what takes place going into the next season, obviously, and if these other versions of Loki will be there, if Thor is going to make an appearance, what obviously else will happen of the TVA, obviously, if Mobius will be in charge once everything's fixed, hopefully, and the truth is obviously revealed to everybody, of course, who doesn't know what's going on. Thank you for watching, and that's all I have to say about my review in regards to Loki Season 1, Episode 5, Journey into Mystery, that just happened a couple days ago, actually yesterday, on Wednesday, on the 7th of July, 2021. Yeah, some of these articles explain the mysteries and Easter eggs that they have in here and whatnot, and we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, going into the future, and obviously, can Loki make an appearance on Captain America and Winter Soldier, or Falcon Winter Soldier? we'll see what happens. I don't know. But thank you again for watching, and that's all I have to say about this again. Thanks, bye.